Oh look, the microphone's still on. Marvellous. Okay, the stream's going to be starting in a minute or two. I'm just waiting for Her Royal Majesty, the Princess of Snails, to come and join us. Won't be a minute, I'm just going to get some juice. Okay, Dawn, ready when you are. Pardon? Okay. Hey, what do you think of my sweet new hat, Lou?
Nice.
Isn't it awesome?
That?
I love this hat.
Where'd you get that?
It was made for me by Helen, who came round earlier and went up to art.
Sure. Nice.
Cheers, viewer. I don't know who the viewer is. Whoever you are, hello. Do you like my hat? If you tell me you like my hat, I'll be very excited. Very excited. I like my hat. Oh, here she comes. There you go, darling, there's my notes.
I'm just moving the haggis.
Oh yes, the haggis. No problem. Okay, viewers, whoever you are, I have no bloody idea. Licking microphone. I'm not licking a microphone, Bertie, I'm pretty sure. I do have a goddamn fucking awesome hat, quite frankly.
It is awesome.
God, yeah, I'm so happy with this hat. I've wanted a hat like this for so many years, and I'm so glad I've got one. Right, I'm just going to straighten this microphone, and then it's time for turning on the theme song. Oscar developer, Oscar developer, Oscar developer, Oscar developer. Also, boobs. Thank you. Right.
Fabulous.
Thank you very much. It's me, and it's you, and we're here. And
Hello,
it's,
you.
Is it 10 o'clock?
Hello, you. I think we're a bit late.
We're a little bit late, unfortunately, because things have, you know, been busy.
We've had a really terrible 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, it's been absolutely goddamn
It's been
shit.
Terrible.
However, you know,
Onward and upward.
onward and upward, that's right, as the bishop said to the 10-year-old child. So,
You can't see that.
sorry, just ignore that, or ignore the terrible things I'm going to be telling you.
You can't see that.
I certainly can, and just did.
Wow.
Right, so hello, welcome to Ask a Developer. This is our third or fourth episode. You weren't in the third one because you were...
No, there was more bad things happening.
More bad things were happening and you were really tired.
Yeah.
As I say, it's been a very, 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 very busy week. Now, as usual, I need to explain how this works because some of you people, for whatever reason, will not be on Twitch. You know, and so therefore you'll not be able to ask any questions. You might be on the Facebook group, you could be anywhere. I genuinely have no idea.
Space?
Pardon?
Space? Outer space?
Yeah, they could be in outer space actually, darling. So, if you want to ask a question, okay, and I haven't seen the wonderful question that you've left, then do consider going to our Twitch channel. And at the Twitch channel, you can go, aha, you know, It all makes sense now. Now, another thing you can do as well, you see that CG Pirates? You can go to, actually I'll probably put a little box in here just while I'm thinking about it, okay? Because I'm a professional, aren't I, darling?
Is that where the booty hangs out?
Yes, darling, that's the boot.
Pirate booty.
That's da booty. That's going to sound terrible no matter what I say, really, but there you go. Right, so add sauce, and I'm just going to quickly add a bit in here. So add a new sauce, there we are.
I wish the dogs hadn't eaten the sides of my glasses.
Yeah, those really are naughty dogs.
Yep.
Okay, so we have this thing here that says www.cgpirates.com, and that's just to remind you that if you do want to participate and chat, all you have to do is go to www.cgpirates.com. Thank you. Amanda's wearing her beautiful pirate hat, as am I.
Yar.
Yar! And we will see you there. Now, if you're in Twitch, just say hello using the chat. Hello! Look, I just said hello and now it appeared as if it was magic. If you're on YouTube, you can also say hello, and I might well see that too. I wouldn't swear to it, but I kind of hope so. Okay, so that's how this works. Now,
Feels like I need instructions with this.
I know, sometimes you do need instructions, sadly.
Yeah.
Hello using the chat. Oh, look at that. Using the chat and everything. It's like people doing stuff. Right then. Also, hello and welcome to Bertie, top tester and moderator, and previously top detective on 3D Palace, helping to find the naughty poser users. And that's some goddamn history going back about 13, 14 years, because you're nearly as old as I am. Right, Amanda, my darling, where should we start this week?
Oh, right, we'll start. Okay, so what's been new in the last 2 weeks there?
Well, do you mean what's been new in the game, or do you
Yes.
mean what's been new in our actual lives?
No, that's what's been new in,
Oh,
the,
it's always
in the
right.
game first.
Well, that's the terrible thing, because things have been so remarkably busy at home, with all the things that have been going on, because we've had all sorts of kind of family illness and things like this. There hasn't been too much time to be working on the wiki, because as you know, I'm a solo developer. But I have been making sure to put time in where I can. It's just a case of obviously getting the time to do it. So, you know, if I'm doing a couple of hours, you know, at 10 o'clock at night, or if I'm doing a couple of hours at 8 o'clock in the morning, or whatever, just getting
Yeah.
time where I can. Now, this is important for all developers out there, because we are going to get spanners thrown into our works, you know.
Yeah, routine's gone out of the window.
Absolutely it has.
For
And
2
let's
weeks.
let's throw gang signs for PH King, who loves our hats. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, honestly, your routine will occasionally go out the window. This shit's going to happen. So, seriously, just do what I do and overestimate the amount of time you're going to need to finish your project. It's going to go to hell in a handbasket. There's no way of it. But you know what? Stuff gets better. So no matter how horrible your week/year has been, you know, listen to old Uncle Blue and lovely Amanda. It will get better. That's right, PH King. Life does happen. You know what he deserves?
What is that?
Another gang sign. There we go. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know what they
Just
do.
do a wave.
Just because my name's Crips doesn't mean I know the actual
Crips
biz.
Ronson.
That's right. Right,
Okay.
now. Go on then, darling.
I think we should talk about this new lighthouse, because people will notice there is a new lighthouse.
Yep, fair enough.
It's not the original.
It's not the original lighthouse. No, you are correct. Now, I'm just going to load up the
Why
level.
is there a new lighthouse, Chris?
Well, it's like anything else, really. 2 years ago, when I first started the wiki, I first built the lighthouse. And the lighthouse was based initially on a lighthouse from the south coast of England. It was based on one of the ones that, you know, was around about 1880s, I think, an 1880, 1890 model. And it was good, but it had a lot of limitations, and I was a bit concerned that, you know, it was dragging down the rest of the look, because it wasn't the look that I wanted. So what I did instead was I replaced it with the new lighthouse. Now, let me just turn on the lighthouse, because it's not actually visible at the minute. There we go. And let's go on a little flying adventure over here. Could you make flying adventure noises, Amanda? There we go. Woo, indeed, you buggers. Right, now, what I like about the new lighthouse is that It's prettier. Now, this is more of an American lighthouse, okay? Compared
It is pretty.
It is. It's a much prettier lighthouse, but it's also a much more American design. Now, that's not a bad thing, okay? The Americans did some fantastic designs of lighthouses. So this is one of the things that...
So did the Japanese.
Oh, yeah, the Japanese do amazing ones, but that would really, really not fit here. Holy Christ, someone's following us. Simbob 3000. Yeah. We love you, Simbob, and everything about you.
Awesome.
And we hope that when you're walking down the street tomorrow, you find a £5 note. There you go. What more could you want?
No,
A £5 note.
they're going to vanish soon.
They will one day. And thank you for liking the hat. We like you. Okay, so anyway, to talk a little bit about this lighthouse. So, main difference you'll notice, and this is kind of a bit of the boring kind of OCD Chris here, but it doesn't have kind of the same moorings that a standard conventional British one does. Now, British lighthouses, or rather, you know, United Kingdom lighthouses, most of the design structure for how they're held together is these interlocking rings in the base that can basically stop it being knocked over in a storm. Whereas with the American ones, they tend to use these kind of rings here, and then they've got the tower, and they'll have like a steel shaft going up the middle. So it's a slightly different design. However, not many people are going to notice, and to be honest, I preferred this. Ah, it's Simon. There you go. So hello, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Let's throw a gang sign for Simon. There we go. Right, because Simon loves the gang signs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly show you around. Now, I don't want to show you too much of what's going on inside the lighthouse, okay? But to be quite honest...
Is the interior new?
The interior is beautiful. I mean,
very,
you know,
very
I absolutely love this lighthouse. The old one was nice, but I think this new one really does it justice. Now, I haven't decided...
Kind of looks Moroccan in there.
It does a bit, doesn't it? But I think that's...
Moroccan style lighting.
Yeah, it's because of the, what do you call it, the Fresnel. The Fresnel really does make it look a little bit Moroccan, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
They're doing some nice solar lights now on
Now,
Amazon.
I'm not saying this is...
Moroccan style.
That's a hint. Now, I'm not saying, okay, that, you know, I'm not blowing my own trumpet about this, because to be fair...
Someone's got to blow his trumpet for this. It's pretty cool.
It is cool, but I didn't do all of it. Okay, I didn't do all of this. Now, you see, you know, almost all of this was actually purchased from a guy who literally specialises in making lighthouses, because I thought he'd done a much better job than I did.
Wow.
And, you know, for $30, which is all it cost,
Wow.
I know, it's incredible.
That is pretty
You know, because my Fresnel lamp, I'd built a Fresnel lamp, but I couldn't get it quite right, and his one is just on point, so look at that. Anyway, enough boring old bullshit. Let's once I've looked at this and you've seen, though, it is a lovely lighthouse, and you will be able to fully explore this as a part of the game. Okay? But, to be honest, even though the lighthouse figures heavily in this, it isn't a key part of the story. The story is the island, you know? So this is really just the scenery on the island.
Okay, so let's talk about one of the spanners in the works, the broken water system.
Oh my god, the water.
What happened there then?
Okay, well, this is nobody's fault, okay?
We've had a lot of issues with
yeah,
the water
ever
system.
since I first started putting this game together 2 years ago, it's been a case that I knew that I'd need good water. And good water is kind of a holy grail for anyone who's working with what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Now,
if it looks bad, then
if it looks
just
bad, the
ruins
whole
it.
game's horrible.
Yeah.
No shadow of a doubt. Now, the thing is, the water system I originally used in this was a very basic primitive water system. And then round about a year or so ago, I found Waterline Pro, and Waterline Pro is just amazing. You know, absolutely grand grand add-on for Unreal Engine. Now, I'm not using it anymore, but I am actually, because I'm using some of their smaller water volumes, like over here. So here you can see this is Waterline Pro running a pond, including the underwater aspects of it. Okay, so it is still a fantastically useful tool. But one of the problems I had was doing something as large as the sea, I wasn't going to get a good result. So what would happen is basically the water would look good immediately around the main island, but then if I went all the way over here to Gondola Island, for example, it would look terrible because the water was low res over there because the way it had been built. So instead what I had to do was I had to look at the water that was made in Fortnite that was then becoming a part of Unreal Engine 4.0 4.26. I think it was first in 4.26, could be 4.25. And I thought, well, could I try using that? And as you can see, the answer to that is pretty much yes. Okay, you can see here that we've got swells, we've got waves, the water's interacting pretty much perfectly. Now, I adopted using the water system in Unreal Engine directly initially, like 9 months ago when it was still in beta, but there were a lot of problems. So now that I've got used to its foibles and I know more or less how to set it up, I've got to say it is a fantastic tool, and I think I'm going to have a great deal of fun, and I think it's going to make the game look fantastic. I mean, we've got foam, we've got breakers, waves, you name it. Once you know how to use this beast, it becomes a lot easier. We've also got underwater effects, which means I'm going to have to do a bit of work here, because as you see, we don't have anything underwater really. But I'll work on that, because you do die if you stay in the water too long anyway, so it's not really too much of a problem. But yeah, what do you think? I mean, be honest, I think it looks quite nice though.
So you can die in this game, yes?
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, PH. Yeah, just the way it's doing the swells left and right at the minute. And it's doing that because it's in a channel. So, you know, it's taking into account the fact that the water's actually inside of a channel, which is amazing.
Are you going to have some underwater plankton and
maybe,
you know, some fish perhaps? And maybe a dolphin or two, or a whale, you know, because I mean you haven't put the cat in. Did request a cat.
The cat may appear yet,
but I think you need some sea life.
you know, if someone donates enough money to cgpirates.com, then maybe we'll have a cat.
We wanted a cat called...
You want a cat?
Called Cthulhu, because we have a cat called Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, Jesus. She doesn't even realise just how incredibly difficult it would be.
I do. Yeah, I
no,
do.
you don't.
I do. We need
Building
a cat.
the AI for a cat would be nightmarish. I'll consider it. Anyway.
So fish and maybe a whale and...
yes, but the reason they're not
plankton.
there, and you won't actually have a question for this, sadly, but, you know, that fits in quite nicely.
You can make a question.
Why is there no birds?
You haven't put them in.
I have put birds in, but the problem is, again, this is talk about our tester here, and again, thank you, Bertie. I
yes.
discovered that if I was using birds, then on a system that was basically a 1060 or lower, it was going to drop down to, yeah, it'll kill your card. I mean, it works without the bird systems, okay, but the way the bird system works is you've got 10,000 objects that are all using AI and using obstacle avoidance, and it was even dragging on a 37, to be quite honest. Once I got 40,000 birds in the scene, it was like, well, don't think I'm doing this.
To be fair, when we took some photographs while we were in London, there was a photograph of you, and that I could share that on Discord. But there was a photograph of you with a load of pigeons in it, right?
Oh yeah.
And it said, "Will not share this photograph. It's just too heavy for the system to."
Yeah. Basically,
You
as soon as there's birds in the system, it just dies. So I think
what to upgrade by nitro.
I think, to be honest, the safest and best bet for me now is going to be. God, I love that water. I can watch it all day.
And it's more the right colour now.
It certainly is. Yeah. Tabitha gave me a hand with that colour. She did a good job on picking it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to leave the birds and the fish and the dolphins to the end. If I need a specific animal, like the deer, for example, in the village, then I will make them. But I'm not making flocks, swarms, or shoals until the end.
Are you having? Are you going to be having some kind of like stormy weather? You know, thunder and lightning scenes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just you're not seeing that at the minute, because if I had thunder and lightning scenes on whilst I was building, I wouldn't be able to see. I mean, I'm doing most of my previews with the slightly overcast weather system in place, simply because that's kind of common. This is supposed to be northwest Scotland, where the weather's fucking horrible, basically. So, you know.
Okay, so should we talk a bit about the beta testing and how that went?
Oh my goodness, the beta testing has been incredibly helpful. I mean, I thought it might be, okay, and I'm going to have to start prodding bottom again, because 0.1.4 is about to drop, I think, in 3 days. But
is it not overwhelming when you find out there's an awful lot of errors?
to be honest, I think it's more overwhelming for the testers, okay, because I put a lot on their plate. What happens is, when you're a tester, and I'm not taking any more testers because people have offered to be testers and then they came and they haven't tested a goddamn thing. Okay, you want to be a tester, You know, look at Bertie, look at Alan, they're doing a grand job, and then go, I'm going to do like they did. Anyway, it's a hard job, you know, because what they're doing is they're going through the game and they're looking for things that perhaps I hadn't thought of, and they're trying them just to see what happens. And that's the most important part of having testers. Now, I've mentioned before,
destruction testing.
Yeah, very much so. Destruction testing is really important.
It's
and
like, let's break it as much as we can.
oh god, yeah. So I gave Bertie and Alan the details basically on how to submit errors, and then I went to bed and I came back I think that afternoon and just pressed the button to load up like the error list to see if there were any, and it was like boom. I was like, oh my god. But because I made a Google form that basically exported this as a spreadsheet, it made it ridiculously easy for me to go through it. I could start checking off ones that were causing issues and stuff. Now there are some that Bertie and Alan have found that are major, but also I've discovered kind of fun to leave in. So, you know, I'm going to let people see if they can work out which ones they are. One of the important ones actually from this is that I discovered the radio system isn't fit for purpose. So the radio system's being replaced now in this. And I think it's going to be much better because there's going to be two kinds of radio now. There's going to be the puzzle radio and there's going to be a standard radio that plays music and broadcasts messages and things. So I think that'll be a big improvement.
Okay, so let's have a look. AIs. Let's talk about the AIs that you're using.
Oh my goodness, these are so much fun. Now, I didn't actually believe for 1 minute when I started this. I think everyone, when they first start doing game dev, they're like, I'll leave the hard bit to the end, I'll leave the hard bit to the end. But I was so lucky because I managed to find some really good information on how to do, you know, first of all some simple AIs and then some more complex AIs and then more complex after that and so on. And I've actually managed to build some fairly decent systems. Now, in a game like this, I'm not going to expand the size of the screen in the top left there. That way you can have a little teaser without it showing a bit too much. But if I go to my workbench, this is something I'm particularly pleased of because it's just something that's very, very easy as well. So here we go, ignore the radio that I'm building. Now over there, if I click play, you can see that's kind of, I mean, they look really quite good. I like those. You can't see them really anywhere near as well as I can. But these AIs, they're not going to start trying to do anything to me because I'm outside of their navigation mesh. But if I get close enough and they can detect me, then, you know, these crazy looking things are, oh, love them. And they're not the only ones either. We've got quite a few different AIs, not just the NPCs, which are like the sailors, Captain Malin, the geologist and Mr. Squiggle, but, you know, I can see you smiling at that one. But, you know, we've got a whole host of different things, whether it be animals who have their own, thank you PH King, their own kind of agenda going on, whether they're hunting, grazing, feeding, mating, whatever. We also have like enemy...
What, like our dogs in the background?
Yeah, like our dogs who are banging for England.
No, that's just splashy,
naughty dogs. They're doing splashy,
that's
splashy.
Romance.
Yeah,
It's
they
the
are.
romance phase. Yeah.
And I'm glad. And I've got this other one here as well. Now I'll show you at a distance. I'll just drop it in. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it there. There we go. And if I click play now, oh shit! I keep forgetting how fast he is.
Run away.
He really bugs me because, like, if I'm out of his range, he's going to start sniffing for me and looking for me. Okay, and you can't kill these. Okay, so bad luck. I'm sorry. None of the things in my game can be killed. You can't kill a deer. You can't kill that guy over there. You can't kill the 5 things behind it that you can't see very well. Okay, you're just a person. They're going to slice you up and eat your insides.
So,
And you don't even have a gun.
So like the other day we were talking about this and I was like, okay Chris, so how many days are you into game? And you were like, oh, you know, 2 days in. And I'm like, wow, there's like 14 days. And you're like, yeah, but I have to build everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Everything in the first 2 days. Can you
course,
explain a bit more about that?
That's a really good question, actually. So I'm really glad that.
Because I was like, whoa, you already done 2 days? And
Yeah,
you're like,
that would be.
is
That would be
energizing.
shocking as hell if I'd only done 2 days, right, and I'd only made 2 days worth of content. But actually, what is a better way of looking at this is, these 2 days that I've been working on, thanks PH, these 2 days that I've been working on are basically fundamental to the island. So you're visiting most of the locations on the island. The ones that you're not visiting that already exist were ones that were built, and I thought they'd be in day 2, but now they're in day 5, day 7, day 8, or whatever. And so because of that...
So the whole world gets built in the first 2 days.
Yes, exactly.
So in the beginning, God made...
Some of them.
2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything was built in 2 days.
Well, yeah, because if I've got everything working for day 1 and day 2...
Rest story.
Then the rest of it just needs the script putting in, because everything's where it needs to be. You know, if you actually had this game and you had managed to make your way to the other side of the island, everything's there waiting for you, even though the story hasn't sent you there. You know, it all is. So it's important, obviously, that I have these available right now so that we can get to them. I mean, I'm not going to take you on a tour of the island again. I've taken people on so many tours of the bloody island, but hopefully you get the idea. The actual project file itself, rendered and built and compiled, is 13 gigs. Unbuilt, it's 98 gigabytes of data. To Amanda, that's just like so many weird sounding words, but it's basically like, putting it in terms of DVDs even, that's like 30 DVDs full of data. You know, it's a lot. Is it 30? Something stupid like that. It's an awful lot of data that I've got here to work with. And I mean, it's worth it, because, you know, sure, some people aren't going to like it, some people are going to like it, and that suits me fine. But I've made what I wanted, you know, and in these 2 days that I have at the minute, you know, I've got almost everything that I need for the entire game's plot. And if I need to add something else, I can. Ha, yeah, this is true. I don't even have a DVD drive on my computer.
Okay, so let's talk about the new island.
Ah, there is a new island, yes. Now, just 1 second. I want to see if there's anything that you should not be seeing if we go over here. There probably isn't, but...
Do we shout spoiler alert?
Yeah, we can shout spoiler alert.
Spoiler
actually.
alert!
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. So, let me just... Thankfully, you see, you won't be seeing this in very large detail, whereas I will be. And I've got to get rid of this stuff. So, that one, click there, hidden. Right, now, I'm just going to turn this over to Live 3, perhaps. No, that one. No, let's just go at this one. There we go. Hello! Right, so, bloody hell. Yeah, so this is the new island here. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I needed an island. Okay, and what I quite like about this is that the gondola actually passes through it, which I thought was a nice touch. And there is stuff inside this island, which I'm not going to let you see, because I'm very mean. I know. But interestingly enough, I'm going to tell you one super secret. Okay, only one though. Now, some people had asked me, I think including one of the testers, you know, would it be possible to ride on the ship to the island? Now, in the initial demo, you could go on this ship here, okay, which is why it's quite well detailed, and everything for the demo took place on this ship.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want anyone riding this ship now, because the journey on this ship's incredibly slow, but this ship here, which is the rather beautiful Amanda 2, named after a certain somebody, you're welcome, you can actually board this ship, and this ship will take you on an adventure. So, you know, if you can find how to get to this one, then maybe you should take it on a little trip. Anyway, let's zoom past these islands, because there is quite a few islands now, and there's going to be some that you haven't seen as well. There's a reason, remember, I don't want you to see everything. What's up, Birdie? Bertie wants to take the boat. I can't say I blame you, dude.
It needs destruction testing.
Yeah, it does. To be honest, you can fall off the boat and then you'll
Everything
die.
Chris makes needs destruction testing.
Oh god, yeah. No, but yeah, by all means, mess around with the boat. Its collision volumes at the minute need a little bit of fixing, but I know you'll probably get quite a kick out of that. And what I quite like as well is that the ship docks obviously down here, so you know, it skips this entire part over here, and as such it skips some of the kind of trials that you might go through over there, including like the minor puzzles and the platform stuff. You can literally just bypass the entire lot, because the whole point, which I thought was quite nice, is, you know, If you don't want to do the puzzles, fuck 'em. You know, just take another route to the island and just go to the lighthouse and go to bed. You can if you
You've
want.
got a question here. Did you model the characters?
Some of them, not all of them. I'm not a good character artist, let's be fair, okay?
Hard surface modeler.
Hard surface modeler, not a soft body modeler. Now, the person...
Organic.
Organic, that's right. The guy who does almost all of my organic models, any organic model that you see in this that isn't a statue, is a guy called Maxim Bolgarov.
Wow.
Now, as you can imagine, he is I believe, a Russian gentleman, and he's very, very, very talented indeed. And I was using a lot more of his stuff because I thought it was really nice, but I've cut it down now, so I'm only actually using a few of his pieces. Not because I don't like them, but because they're quite intensive on the system. They use a lot of resources. Now, I do also have some characters that I did build myself, which are in... Oh god, I can't even remember what it's called now. That thing that Unreal Engine has that makes people. That one, you know. Well, it's late. Fuck off. It's 10 to midnight. Jesus. Oh, MetaHuman. That's it. Yeah.
MetaHuman's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm quite happy to show people how to use MetaHuman because it's extraordinarily powerful and good. I absolutely love it to bits.
It is good.
Yeah, it's ridiculously good. The main character in the game now is basically a metahuman character, and that's going to be useful because there are going to be a few cutscenes where he's talking or where he's moving and stuff. Again, this is stuff that I don't need till the end though, so I'm in no rush.
There's some really good assets on there.
Oh Christ.
And they're really reasonably priced.
Some of them are free.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know, that's the good thing. Most of the really good ones are just completely free.
Some of the paid for content isn't as good as the free content.
No, but that leads into one of your questions, actually, that you wanted to ask anyway.
I want to talk about Fluid Ninja.
Oh, holy mother of God, yes.
Yeah,
Fluid
Fluid
Ninja.
Ninja. Whoever comes up with these names, wow.
I know, but, I mean...
you remember them.
Christ, yeah. Let me just shut down the wiki. So I'm not going to save, because, you know, I'm not going to. And this should bring up the Epic Launcher.
There's so much new stuff now.
But this will blow your mind, okay? Now, I know some people are adverse to paying money, okay? It's not expensive, for God's sakes. Get off your asses. But... let's see, Fluid Ninja. If I just load this up, this thing's staggering because it's basically fluid simulation running inside of Unreal Engine. Now, yes, you can do this yourself using Niagara, but it's very, very hard. You know, it really is incredibly, incredibly hard. So, this person's basically written it all into a load of blueprints, and you can do it that way instead. And oh my goodness me, it is useful, you know. It really is. I mean, if I go to open level here, go to Fluid Ninja, let me see, levels. Just point at one, Amanda.
Let's have this one.
Use cases, volume clouds 2. Great.
We love clouds.
I do like clouds.
Clouds are great.
Right, so it's going to compile the shaders, and while it's doing that, I'll just move to, let me see, live scene.
Whoa.
There we go, look at that. That's what we call a transition.
It's doing stuff.
It is. Right, we've got to wait for that big number there, 83, to get to nothing. Because this shader hasn't compiled. But this is well worth looking at, and there's a free version so that you can try it out, okay, on Fluid Ninja.
So what do you think are the highlights of Fluid Ninja?
Oh my god, the time saving. I mean, one, the time saving, definitely, and two, I would say the quality is just beyond what I expected. Now, hopefully you'll get a good idea of how good the quality is when I click play in a few moments. You never know. Come on, there we go. 1, 0. Great. Let's click play and see if anything happens, because I've never oh, there you go. Look at that. Fully volumetric clouds.
Wow.
I know. Compare that to like what you normally get. It's astounding.
You've got all of these.
Yeah, these are just sliders so that I can kind of...
really easy.
Oh my goodness, it is good. Now, I'll walk over here. Try to change the cloud materials. 8 preset materials. Look at that. So you can even change the materials on it.
It's different types of clouds.
It's just beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, they've got loads of things like this that you can just look at and try and use whenever you want. Let's have a look at use cases. Here we go. There are bound to be quite a few good ones in use cases. And I'm going to be using this for, like, ground fog and things like that.
Yeah.
Right, it's
Oh,
compiling.
you've got your pyro stuff
Oh yeah,
as well.
it's compiling the shaders here, but you can see this is the kind of stuff that it's doing without a problem. It's just astounding, really. You know, Fluid Ninja is just great. Now, I'm not going to leave this running because it's going to hog a lot of resources, but if I go to the old YouTube, I should be able to find a decent Fluid Ninja example here as well. Now, I don't normally like toot on about how good certain things are, but these are just... This is exceptional. So, again, this is... look, this is by Dev Addict, just taking a walk through it. And you can see the interaction you're getting. And it's hardly using any resources, because it's pulling all of its information basically from a baked map. I mean, how crazy is that? Just absolutely out of this world. A guy called Andres Kazter, I think he's called. I'll see if I can find another nice demo of this. Ah, here we are.
What about this one?
Viscous Fluids. Look at this. This blew my mind when I saw it. I mean, you've got fire actually spreading like a liquid, which it's supposed to do. You've got like, you can actually bind and attach fluids by bone, and look at that. I mean, you tell me that that isn't incredibly useful. Look at that, you've got mud flows. Absolutely staggering, isn't it?
And is this...
I said this guy deserves to be picked up by Epic.
Is this free?
No, this is £60.
It's £60.
£60. Now, I'm using the free version at the moment, which is really good. But I think I may well upgrade to the full version just so that I can get some customization tools. Because the customization tools allow you to get exactly...
all the residue.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, look at the snow. It sticks. And when you hit something, it knocks it off. It's just... What technology. It's just astounding. It really is. So congratulations, Fluid Ninja. Your stuff is just fantastic, Andreas. Right, Amanda, is there anything else on there?
Yeah, we were talking about deadlines. And
yeah, I talked about this while you weren't here last week, actually, as well.
So you had put a deadline in place for yourself.
I had, October the 2nd.
And then
I think Autumn's saying, Autumn's saying, you know, why work to this deadline? Why not release it when you think it's right?
It's self-imposed, whereas, you know, if you look at like Cyberpunk, that was released.
It wasn't the devs' fault. They were basically pushed by their publishers and shareholders, but yeah, it was too early.
Yeah, and if you don't have, you know, time
I'm in a fairly lucky position because I can basically take time to like work on this, you know. I don't have a publisher banging at my heels. On the other hand, though, I do to a degree have a time limit, because this year, leading into probably the first quarter of next year, is the indie developers' time, because the big games and the big studios, they've had to send people to work at home because of COVID, and so it's a time for us smaller studios and us indie single-person developers to try and catch up. Yeah. So I'm going to push as hard as I can to get this, you know, for November, December, even if it's just days 1 to 7.
It's important not to put it in exact date and time, though.
Well, we've all seen the demo itself, which you can still download and probably will be able to for another week or so. I mean, the demo isn't a great example of what's going on in this game, because it had to be made so damn quickly. But I mean, the benefit of the demo was, without it, I wouldn't have made Gondola Island. You know, so it does have its good points as well. And again, many thanks to Peter, who came up with the suggestion for the way the plot on Gondola Island worked. So that was a big help.
Okay, so what have you got planned coming up for September? What's your
I've still
ideas for September?
Obviously, things are going to be up in the air. Okay.
What are you working on?
Thanks, PH. That's exactly a good idea. Well, I'm working on the radio system at the minute, and I'm working on retying up day 1, because day 1 was finished and signed off, and then I went and looked at it, and there were a couple of parts on it that were a bit loose. Now, if I push hard, I couldn't get probably day 1 finished by between Wednesday and Friday. If I do that, then I've got some audio editing to do for day 2, because I have all of Captain Malin's lines ready to insert. And when I do that, day 2, funnily enough, will literally take a couple of days.
Yeah.
Day 2 won't take long. After that, be moving on to day 3. Day 3 needs an extra set building for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking maybe a couple of weeks into the future there, and I'm not sure how complex the additional sets are going to be yet. I've got all of the material for them, but I just want to make sure that they fit and basically when you get to that part of the game, it unlocks and you can get into it and all that. You know, it's just basically the way games work. Because of this being open world, it's a lot more complicated. I can't just have you go to a door and teleport to, you know, the inside of the TARDIS, which is how a lot of game devs do it.
Is there any upcoming indie games that are being released that you would recommend that people have a look at?
I still recommend people to look at Valheim, because even though Valheim's made all the money, it deserves it. It's a very, very good piece of work. I don't have time to play it because it is a time sink. But if you want a game where basically you're going to be sat in it playing pretty much forever, Valheim's really, really, really good. With regards to non-independent games, like my go-to now is Like a Dragon.
That
which
is so fun.
So much fun. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous.
I'm rubbish
funny
at
game.
games, but I like watching
You
them.
love watching that game, yeah.
It's great.
It is so much fun.
It's-
So if you've never played Like a Dragon, I know Simon, I know Simbob 3000 there has played it, and
It's
is
so fun.
much further than me because I lost my save file when my PS5 broke. But I'm back up to chapter 9 now, so yay! Bloody love that game.
And there's an upcoming film that we're both excited to see.
Oh
isn't
Christ,
there?
Dune! Can't wait to see the new Dune. That is going to be
October.
so good in
Yeah.
October, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm loving that. Okay, Don. So anything left in the big book of lovelies?
No, that's it for this week.
PH King, that's Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's the newer Yakuza game, but it plays more like an RPG now rather than an action fighter.
It's just really
very
funny.
fun. Silly, ridiculous, just silly game.
It reminds me of Saints Row in a way.
It does a bit, and the voice, if you play it in English, the voice of the main character sounds like Archer for some reason.
Yeah.
I know it's not him, but it just sounds like Archer. Which is,
But I liked Saints Row as well.
oh, they've just remastered Saints Row, actually. We'll have to have a look at that.
It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. So, my dear, darling, sweetheart, everybody's, before we head off into the great unknown, or bed, because it is actually after midnight, if anyone has any questions,
Yeah.
please, feel free to
Any
shout them in
questions.
channel. Now, I know we lag by 2 or 3 minutes, to be fair, so I'm going to take that time to maybe do some body popping, or, I don't know, whatever it is I do. I'm going to quickly check in the Facebook, just in case. It's extremely unlikely, because I made the mistake of posting this in the extremely dead 3D Palace Facebook group, and I don't
Wow.
think anyone goes there, because I know I don't. Oh no, hang on. Tabitha and Simon have sent love to it, so that's good. At least
We're sending lots of love.
we're
to
sending
Tabitha.
a million tons of love to Tabitha,
She needs lots of love right
my
now.
special girl. And I hope you're feeling much, much better soon, sweetheart, because
Yeah.
we do love you.
Very much.
Right, so our time is over. And, oh my God, yeah, I changed the actual settings for it, to be honest, Bertie, so that's why the lag's a bit better. 10 seconds isn't too bad, actually. I'd like to wish you all a very good weekend. If the weather's nice where you are, I hope you get out into the garden and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, we're going to do a barbecue, even
Hopefully,
if it's raining.
if it's raining, we'll be doing a
No,
barbecue
we'll
by
just-
cooking it in the kitchen.
We'll just do it anyway.
Absolutely you will. Okay, so all my best love, best wishes. Let's throw a gang sign for all our friends. Yeah, baby. Okay, and I will see you next Friday. I hope you tune in. And if you don't tune in, well,